So in this political wheel of revolution, the ball keeps bouncing around. I was privy to wake up this morning listening to a news program on television. And since this is a political season, you had those pundits and supporters of Mitt Romney, representative of the Republican Party for President of the United States, and Barack Obama's defense team as a presidential candidate for the next term. And as I sat there and I listened to these people argue about how and what solutions should be used to remedy the problems of our society, and who they blame and who's responsible for this and for that. And each one of them stating their case. And you sit there and you listen to this. And as not knowing what the solutions are, those of you who might be privy to listen to some of this stuff, I'm sure you feel basically the same way. But if you know a solution and you sit there and you listen to the stuff, and you are appalled at all of these compassionate people who lack the wisdom of resolving and not even knowing why. If you listen to them, they really don't care about one another. One of them point of view is it totally disregards the perspectives of others for justifiable reasons only to them, and vice versa. But I would like to stop and ask the Republicans and Democrats. I'd like to ask the conservatives, and I would like to ask the liberals, what is wrong with satisfying all the people? Whether you call it a free market or whether you call it socialism, whatever you want to call it, what is wrong with you, the people, determining amongst yourselves how to live the best as your mind will allow you to perceive? Why not ask yourselves that? I mean, both of you say you're compassionate. Both of you say you're trying to help everybody, even though your actions reflect something different. I ask you, each of you, I ask you, the American public, why not have it like you want it, where it's working for you? And I'm telling you, the only way it can work for you is it got to work for everybody else. And the only way that can happen is that you got to work, you got to protect, you got to secure, you got to care about one another. Now, let me prove my point. You see the way the world is today, right? I mean, economically, socially, everything. You know, there are two sides, and both of them are being represented, and none are yielding. But when the question is asked, why don't you include everybody, then that shows you up for what you really are. Because there can be no better way than a way that works for everyone. And if you are caught in your way, Republicans, if you are caught in your way, Democrats, and nothing you will yield to bring this whole thing together, if one of you will yield and the other one won't, it shows you up for being against the people. If both of you refuse to yield, it shows the public that both of you are against them. So I'm asking you, why not? Now, as I was saying, I was going to prove it to you. We are basically talking about goods and services that the people have determined are necessary and they require. Goods and services. We're talking about goods and services. What does that entail? That entails at least two basic principles: materials and labor. Now, the materials are there, the labor is there to create everything that they've already been creating and more besides. To open up the industries to allow everybody who wants to express their gifts, their talents, participating in the creative process of this nation, get into the workforce in a career of their own choosing, having before them whatever is necessary to qualify them to be the best at whatever it is that they do, educationally, protected, healthcare wise, and the doors are open. And who benefits from it? They do first, because they get the joy of doing what they want to do. Secondly, the human race, American population, gets the benefit because they are giving their best. They're not making stuff that lasts a quarter. They're making stuff that lasts as long as possible. And you got this for your benefit. And you got the labor. You got the need. It's there. It's always there. You got the desire. It's always there. And the materials, they're there. And the labor is there. So all you have to do is put it together. And the materials are there. Now, if you notice, I left out money. Because what is money used for? Money is to use to purchase or acquire the things that have already been made. But if the materials do not belong to you, belong to God, and you, the labor, put forward to create those things that you need, then what is money for? Especially when you have to restrict your research, when you have to start cutting people off and making them suffer because there is no money. And if there's to be money, you got to go into all kinds of debt that you can never get out of. So the ones who hold the money is the one that you're indebted to, so your indebtedness is to somebody behind the curtain as opposed to God. So we can see that this program of life can go on without money. But take away the labor and nothing is done. Or keep the labor, but take away the material and nothing is done. Or keep the labor, keep the material, and take away the money, and everything gets done. Think about that. Republicans and Democrats, why won't you come together for that? And to the American public and people of the world, if it works here, it'll work wherever you are. Why don't all of you come together for that? My idea is if you can't come together for that, it's because you're blind. That's bluntly put. If you can't come together for the brotherhood of mankind, to live as though you're in paradise, if you can't do that, it's because you're blind. And I don't think no blind people got any business leading anything except the blind. You definitely would not be leading the man they can see. Bye-bye.